So yesterday I closed up the dash, and today I was getting ready to get the plate on that covers the big hole in the firewall where the old, I guess it was the evaporator, was housed. That big hole there. I look in the box for that plate, and what I see but this. So what is that, you ask? That is the grounding wire that is supposed to be connected to the gray wire on the harness in order to program the controls for the air conditioning unit. And what I did yesterday was I tied up all of those wires nice and neat up under the dashboard before I put it on. So now I have to see if I can find that gray wire without pulling down the dashboard, which that might be a problem because I tucked them up there nice and neat. Certainly can't go by feel because you're looking for a gray wire. No other wire will work. I can see it. I don't know if I can reach it. I'd have to try to pull down an entire harness, which might not be impossible on this side because on this side I didn't tie too much up with zip ties. Fortunately, I think it's further than I can reach with my fingers. I thought about making a jumper and connecting it yesterday before I did this. Well, I can touch it, I can grab it. Question is, can I get a jumper in there? That almost requires two hands up there. And if I have both hands holding a wire, I have nothing to hold the flashlight. Well, maybe I can wedge it in there. I don't know. I'm going to start to make a jumper. See if I can get that in there. If I can ever get out from under this dashboard. I don't know if you heard me. Being under that dashboard may have kept you from hearing me, but I did find the wire. I just don't know if I can actually hook up a spade connector in the connector that's there without pulling that dash out. So I am going to make myself a jumper wire and attempt to connect it. Okay, this isn't something I would normally recommend, but this is actually a piece of probably 10 gauge, at least 12 gauge, if not 10, house wiring. And I put a heat shrink male spade connector on there because there's a female connector on that gray wire up under there. I also had the idea of long reach needle nose pliers to maybe hold that connector up under the dash, and hopefully this will be rigid enough to insert the spade so that I don't have to rip that whole dashboard out. I wouldn't do this for a permanent wiring solution in the car. This is something that's going to be used for programming the controls. Then it's going to be disconnected, and I would think the only time you're ever going to have to reprogram the controls is if you have a dead battery. And probably completely dead. So we're going to give this a try in hopes that I can save myself probably the better part of an hour's work. Okay, see if I can find that. I can see it. See if I can get these pliers on it. And I'm trying to grip it by the part of the connector that's crimped. I think I got it, but I gotta move the flashlight. It's in my way. I do have it. Okay, wedge the flashlight up in there. See if I can get this spade connector in there. This wire will stay connected because I'll disconnect it over on the other side by the grounding block. And we have success. It worked. Now I gotta bend this wire, and this this, unlike the other wire, isn't flexible, but it's okay. I can run that underneath the front of the radio. Oops, better take my flashlight with me. Well, that wasn't easy, but it was easier than taking the whole dashboard down again. Now all I got to do is route this wire to the other side where I'm going to connect that little grounding cable. And then I'll have to cut it off and put a heat shrink connector on it. It's a female connector, and I hope it can be insulated because I don't want that to accidentally ground out after I've programmed the heater controls. If I'm not happy with the insulation of the connector, end up taking it. But it looks like the connector might be okay. I don't know. I don't know how long it would take of grinding it out to screw up the program that's in there. But this is what I'm going to put on and attach it to the wire. I'll attach that white wire to the grounding block, and well, it saved me a bunch of work not having to take that dashboard out again. Not looking forward to that. I was anticipating possibly having some issues today with the air conditioner, but that wasn't one of them. Okay, I've got the white wire for the heater controls connected into the grounding block for programming the heater controls. I pulled this out further to allow myself to heat shrink that fitting. Okay, so all I'm going to have to do, trying to stay out of the way here, to program my heater controls is plug this in right here. And I'll be able to get to this because it's going to be right behind the switch for the rear window defogger. So as that is now, it's ready to program the heater controls. And once it's done, I'll tuck that up out of the way, preferably where it won't be able to contact anything metal, which it kind of looks like a good spot. And disconnect the white wire right there at that plug, and then put the panel that houses the switch for the rear window defogger, and it will be actually my transmission mode switch as well. So apparently I skirted a big setback, made it into a minor setback. So it'll be on to what I set out to do today.